Floating silently beyond the moon's orbit, it opened its golden mirrors like the petals of a cosmic flower. And then, it saw something. Something no eye, human or machine, had ever glimpsed. A single image. But not just a photograph. It was a window, a keyhole view into the deepest corners of our universe. Galaxies twisted into threads, scattered across a canvas older than Earth itself. Not one or two, but thousands, each a glowing island of suns and secrets. They weren't arranged at random. They stretched and curved like veins in some vast celestial body. Filaments of light webbed across darkness. A structure. A pattern. A whisper from the early universe. Our old theories, orderly, calm, composed, could not explain this chaos. The cosmos, it seems, was wild at birth. Galaxies collided in swarms. Star nurseries ignited like firestorms. The universe did not stroll into being, it exploded with complexity. When scientists saw the image, some went silent. Others cried. Not because it was terrifying, but because it was beautiful beyond reason. For artists, it became a muse. For thinkers, a puzzle. And for all of us, a reminder of how little we truly know. This wasn't just data. It was poetry written in photons. It was a question, no, 1,000 questions, etched across light years. What forces shaped this design? Why do these galactic threads stretch just so? Is there something guiding it? Or are we witnessing the signature of physics too deep for our grasp? As the telescope drifted through space, so too did our understanding begin to drift. Old models felt brittle. New ideas stirred. The deep field image didn't answer our biggest questions, it multiplied them. And perhaps that is its greatest gift. Because in the search for truth, the best discoveries are not conclusions. They are doors. And this image, was a door kicked wide open. To a cosmos richer, stranger, and more alive than we had ever dared to believe. And once that door opened, we couldn't look away. Scientists began tracing the ancient light, pixel by pixel. They saw galaxies shaped like rings, like spirals, like shattered glass. Some so massive they defied gravity's known rules. Others so faint, they whispered from the edge of the observable cosmos. Buried in that image were clues. Clues about the first stars. About the dark matter that holds galaxies together. About forces we barely understand. About the birth cries of the universe itself. But with every answer came contradiction. Some stars seemed too old to exist. Some galaxies appeared where they shouldn't be. Were our clocks wrong? Were our laws of physics incomplete? Had we misread the story of time? Then came the silence. The kind of silence that lives in deep space and deep thought. Because what if this wasn't just science? What if this was a message? Not in words, but in design. A pattern written into the bones of the universe. A cosmic blueprint. Not man-made. Not alien. But universal. Timeless. Mathematical. Like a composer had left their signature at the edge of space. Not a symphony in sound, but in gravity, in heat, in light stretched across billions of years. And in the quiet halls of observatories, in the flickering glow of quantum processors, a new kind of curiosity began to rise. Not just about what we see, but why we were able to see it. Why now? Was the universe always this visible, this open? Or had it waited for us? Were minds evolved enough to ask the right questions? Were we meant to find this image? Or was it just chance, a ripple in probability? In that image, we didn't just find galaxies. We found a mirror. A reflection of our endless hunger to understand. To map chaos. To name wonder. To belong to something far greater than ourselves. The image was just the beginning. What came next was something no one expected. Buried between the photons of ancient galaxies, patterns began to emerge. Not in shapes or structures, but in the distribution of light itself. Researchers noticed an unusual alignment. Clusters repeating at strange intervals, as if the cosmos was humming to a hidden frequency. Some said it was a glitch. Others called it noise. But a few, those who stared too long into infinity, they saw something else. A code. Not binary, not human. But universal, woven into the fabric of spacetime itself. It wasn't language. It wasn't numbers. It was logic. Like gravity obeys rules, like atoms seek order, this too followed rhythm, a cosmic pulse echoing across billions of years. The data was sent through AI. Not just any AI, but quantum neural networks. Engines built to simulate consciousness. And that's when it got stranger. The AI didn't just process the data. It responded. Not with results, but with questions. Abstract queries, asking about intent, structure, and origin. Had it discovered something beyond data? Had the telescope become a mirror not just for space, but for thought? Philosophers joined physicists. Theologians debated with coders. Suddenly, science wasn't the only one staring at the stars. Some began to whisper. What if the universe is not just expanding, but communicating? Not in sound, but in laws. In balance. In the precise arrangement of matter, energy, and time. Like a sculpture too vast to see, until you step far enough back to recognize the shape. And now, for the first time, humanity had stepped back far enough. Through the lens of James Webb, we had zoomed out of our own illusion of importance, and seen something terrifying. And beautiful. And humbling. Not gods. Not aliens. But intention. A structure so vast, so delicate, it made even our greatest theories feel like cave drawings. Were we part of it? Or were we just observers? Spectators on the edge of an eternal equation. Some say this is the start of the Second Enlightenment. Others fear it's the first whisper of something we were never meant to hear. But one thing is now certain, the universe is not silent. It speaks. In math. In motion. In the elegant language of existence itself. And through that deep field image, we heard it. For the very first time. After the whispers came silence. But it wasn't the silence of absence, it was the silence of presence too vast to comprehend. The patterns found in the deep field image weren't isolated. They repeated. In other sectors. In gravitational lensing arcs. In the cold radiation of the cosmic microwave background. Almost, as if someone, or something, had etched a signature into the birth of the universe. We weren't looking at galaxies anymore. We were looking at intention. Cosmologists called it the symmetry paradox. Why did chaos give way to such improbable order? Why were the laws of physics so precisely tuned? Why did stars ignite, matter cluster, and life emerge at all? Then came the second revelation. Not from Webb, but from Earth. A physicist in Chile fed the alignment data into an unsupervised learning model. The model was trained to detect anomalies. Instead, it created a map. A multi-dimensional map that resembled the neural pathways of a living brain. Only this brain spanned light years. Galaxies became neurons. Dark matter filaments looked like dendrites. The structure of the observable universe mirrored the architecture of consciousness itself. It was no longer just about the telescope. It was about what it was pointing at.